Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here. So in today's video we will be talking about Dan Snyder and if I think the NFL owners will vote him out of the league. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. On the road to 10,000 subscribers, over 65% of you watching aren't subscribed. It takes 1 second, it's free. Please do it and hit that like button and turn on those notifications. I know a lot of people don't like the Dan Snyder videos, but I feel like this is big enough to make a video about. Talked about it a little bit on the stream yesterday, but wanted to make a video, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. So if you didn't know, yesterday owners meetings were starting, and this is what Colts owner Jim Irsay had to say on Commanders owner Daniel Snyder. He says, "I believe there is merit to removing him as owner," and then asked if there are 24 votes. "I think potentially there will be." And then Ian Rapport says bombshell. And when Ian Rapport says bombshell, it really is bombshell because he does not say that often. So there is a chance Dan Snyder is gone from being owner of the Commanders. And if one owner's saying it, there's other owners thinking it as well. And also him saying that there could potentially be 24 votes, I think this is huge. And I think that the more and more time goes on, the more likely it is that Dan Snyder's going to be out, because he does more and more things to incriminate himself and to make himself look worse to other owners. Like the report that came out that he got dirt on Roger Goodell and some of the other owners, so that if he gets voted out, he'll put it out against him. Stuff like that does not make you respected amongst these owners. And the owners that maybe do have some they've done some bad things in the past, maybe they'll be like, okay, maybe I won't vote him out because I don't want these things coming out about me. But the guys that are clean, which might not be many of them, will definitely vote him out. They need 24 votes out of 31 because it is 32 teams, but of course Dan Snyder is one of those owners. So 24 out of 31, so it's a lot. 2/3, it's more than 2/3 that you're gonna have to get, but I think it definitely is possible. And this is what JP Finley said today. So he says, "Say what you want about Jim Irsay, but not a single NFL owner denounced his comments. Nobody pushed back. That silence speaks volumes." And I agree with everything he said there. First of all, like Jim Irsay does have his own issues. And a lot of Commanders fans didn't like him this offseason because he just kept on bringing up Carson Wentz. But now we're his biggest fans because of what he said about Dan Snyder yesterday. But yeah, I think some of the owners kind of said like they didn't really give a comment about it, but no one defended him. No one defended Dan Snyder. Not Jerry Jones, not Robert Kraft, not some of these other guys. And I feel like if they felt strongly about keeping Dan Snyder in, they would have said something. And none of them did. So I do think that is good news for sure. And now we just need another owner to speak out. Maybe a few more owners to speak out. And I think this is possible. I don't know when a vote could occur. Maybe it could occur at the meetings. But I don't know what would have to happen for that to take place. And Roger Goodell also didn't really defend him that much. If you look at some of the quotes, he said he wasn't surprised that Jim Irsay said that, which is another kind of interesting quote as well. This is what Judy Batista said. "To be clear, the Colts owner Jim Irsay is not the only person who wants Dan Snyder out of the NFL. He is just the first one to say it on record." So there's other owners in there for sure. And guys, of course, it's still like I'm not getting my hopes up too much. Like this is the most I've felt like he's gonna be gone since he's been an owner here, since I've been alive. This is the most I've felt like there's a realistic chance of him getting out. But that being said, still not a great chance. Like at the moment, still would probably put it under 50% chance that he's out within 2 years, just because of all the things he survived in the past. Everything, the terrible workplace, the SA allegations, just all that stuff on his record, all the just things he's done interfering with his team, which he has the right to do, but just and that's not going to affect his ownership status, but that's another bad thing about him. And now the reports of him talking bad about other owners, getting dirt on them, stuff like that, like it's mounting up. But He survived it. Every 2 weeks, there's something new about Dan Snyder. Like, you just look at the timeline. Every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, there's a new allegation. There's a new report. There's something with Dan Snyder. There is something with Dan Snyder, and it's just ridiculous that he's still our owner. It is absolutely ridiculous that Dan Snyder is allowed to own a team. You know, he took a team that was one of the best teams, one of the best franchises of all time, and we're one of the worst franchises right now in the NFL because of one man, because of Dan Snyder. He, you know, it all comes down to him. Like, obviously, I don't like the coaching staff right now, but, you know, Dan Snyder's the main problem. He's the one that put the, you know, at least Ron Rivera there, and he just has made, you know, really bad decisions in the past. And, like, I don't really necessarily believe the report from ESPN that said, you know, Dan Snyder was the one who, you know, got Carson Wentz, or who told Rivera to get Carson Wentz. And, like, it obviously wouldn't surprise me if that's true, but I'm going to believe Rivera and, you know, his passionate speech that he was the one who wanted him. But still, there's a chance he was the one who wanted Wentz. We overpaid for Wentz. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about it. You know, watching my video back the first day, I was like, you know, I'm fine with Wentz, but we could have gotten him, you know, released, or we could have gotten him for like a 5th round pick. But we ended up giving a second, or, you know, conditional second, a third, and a swap of our seconds last year. So it wasn't a good move, but, you know, maybe it was Rivera, maybe it was Snyder, but either way, there's been a lot of evidence about Snyder in the past that he's just not a good owner. And then he sends the letter yesterday to the owner. Says, I hope you and your family are doing well. I would like to address a recent ESPN article that contains false and malicious statements about the Washington Commanders, our management team, and me and my family. It's particularly shameful for ESPN to diminish the very accomplishments of our president, Jason Wright, who ESPN alleges was placed at the Commanders by the league and has no power to make real change. I know you know this to be false. Unfortunately, ESPN ignored our efforts to correct the many falsehoods in their article before publication. Before its publication. So there's other stuff in there that you guys can see. He said the one allegation I would like to address immediately. The article cited unnamed sources who said they've been told that Snyder instructed his law firms to hire, you know, PIs to look into other owners and Commissioner Goodell. That is patently false and intended to erode the trust and goodwill between owners, and I take that quite seriously. So he says he never did it, stuff like that. Obviously, he's gonna say that, but I believe that part of it. I definitely believe that part of it. And yeah, I mean, I want this guy gone. I think everyone wants Dan Snyder gone. He knows it. He knows it too. And I don't want it to go to Tanya Snyder. Like, no. We want him to be forced to sell the team, not forced to move to Tanya, because then we know it's going to be the same issue. Like, yes, I would rather have Tanya Snyder as the owner, but the thing is, they're married. So if Tanya Snyder's the owner, well, Dan Snyder can do whatever he wants. And, you know, his son, I would like that. I would be fine with that if he was the only owner. But if his son gets it, and Snyder's still alive, well, Snyder's still going to, you know, have an influence on this team. So just hopefully happens. Not getting my hopes too much, but I think there's a higher chance than there's been in a very, very long time, probably ever, that he's gone. So hopefully it does happen. And then other news, Jake Fromm was signed to the practice squad. Just a, you know, quarterback option there. Jake Fromm is trash, but, you know, you got to bring someone on the practice squad. I'm fine with that. And then, like, looks like Chase Young will not be ready this week, which is unfortunate. Maybe not even next week. Just sucks, but hopefully he, gets a full recovery and is back pretty soon. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.